Hey guys, how are you tonight? It's Red Orca. As promised, I am bringing you another 2v2 Halo Wars video. This one is me and KP Layouts versus demonbut and dynaMiC on docks. Say that one 5 times fast. But I'm playing Brute, KP Layouts is playing Anders, demonbut is playing Cutter, and dynaMiC is playing Arbiter. They do have combo advantage on this map, so I'm going to go ahead and go Temple first, which is, in my opinion, the best thing to do against their combo. Um, Docks, a lot of people consider this one to be the most fair of the 2v2 maps, though if you see KP Layout's video, you can see that it isn't actually perfectly balanced. So that's, something to point out that none of them are actually quite perfect, but I guess it is the most fair. It isn't my favorite. I like the hook maps better, but that's neither here nor there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pick up money on our side of the map with my chopper and none with my chieftain, just so I can get on offense as fast as possible. And the reason I'm picking up money on our side with my chopper instead of on theirs is because me going temple first, as you can see, I'm pretty broke. And my teammate called for this and also since that's a cutter, we don't know if he's going to go tanks or Gauss. And if I'm ramming hogs that our enemy doesn't care about, then it's kind of a waste when I could be picking up money. Whereas bullying hogs for someone who's going Gauss eventually is very good. So since we weren't sure, and again, since I'm so broke going temple first, that's why I'm not even going on their side of the map with my chopper yet. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a couple brutes in the hook next to that cutter expo, trying to help make it so I can stay on offense as long as possible, and try to see if I can help get my teammate a little bit of a UNSC lead by staying over there as long as possible. Alright, there we go. And the next one. But one thing we are going to have to figure out pretty quickly is what that cutter is doing. Now, at this point, I know my teammate is planning on going Gauss. We just have to see if that's what demonbut is planning. So there's the Arbiter. I need to scout him too. I mean, I know where the leader is, but I don't actually know what his base looks like. So we go back there and have a look. Okay, it looks like Cutter is going to go hogs. So that means I'm going to go back to his expo instead of to the arbiters and just try to really hurt it as possible, with him going hogs. If he can only has one to pump out of, that would be great. But of course, him being a cutter, his expo will be harder to drop. So I'm just going to start stacking and just hide there and use my brutes to kind of protect me a little bit. And right now my teammate is just working on getting his hog numbers up and trying to get tech, of course. Okay, I guess I'm not spawn blocking. So instead I'm going to bring that chopper back now that it's damaged back to my brute chieftain, with the idea being once I have stuff for the arbiter to rage, that chopper is extra money for him to waste money on raging. I mean, well, that is the idea anyway. It doesn't always work out like that. So I'm going to go Halls for now with the cutter going hogs. That's the right call, just because this way I can actually do a bunch more base damage, do much more damage to the hogs, and Banshees just wouldn't cut it on this map against Gauss, at least with all the bases being the way they are. So the Arbiter's going to go ahead and go on offense, both, I think, probably to try to catch some of my teammates' hogs and put his units ahead, and possibly to come on offense against my base to try to keep either, they haven't scouted it yet, so either summits or halls down, depending. So either way, I have let my teammate know. You don't see the flare, but it's because we're in a party together, so my teammate has his hogs hiding. Yep, there's the Arbiter. You saw him. Well, you saw him actually a second ago rush past my teammate's expo, but now he's down at my base, and he's going to try to keep, like I said, those halls down. So now that we know where the Arbiter is, my teammate's going to go ahead and come on offense and try to just do some damage to this base and try to take some of the hog numbers down for the cutter, which he's going to be able to do. the combination of the brutes and the hogs right there. Again, right now we still know where the Arbiter is. Except then he recalls, which of course makes perfect sense considering what's happening to his teammate's base right now. We've been behind a suicide grunt to try to knock my halls down. Thank you so much, DyNaMiC. But there he is, and KP was able to get his hogs out. But I haven't been able to buy inheritance yet because I was more worried about getting grunt numbers up. So he's able to rage me down pretty easily. So I'm going to go ahead and recall since the hall strategy really relies on having a chieftain. So I kind of need to be alive. But unfortunately, me coming back on our side of the map is going to make it so we now know where that Arbiter is, and we don't know where the enemy hogs are. Alright, so demonbut's going to go ahead and take that moment to go ahead and come on offense, since we're now been pushed back. There's the Arbiter. So try to come around and up, and he's going to actually rage me down. But KP goes ahead and is going to come around his hogs and go back on offense since they're on D, forcing them to either come back or just stay over here and let their stuff get damaged with less number of hogs on offense than he has. So, but since I can't really, come on offense the way I am, I'm going to go ahead and send those grunts that I had stacked up over to my teammate's base to try to help defend while he's on offense. Because, they're not really any good sitting in my base. And they're just going to clog the center right now if I send them over there and walk them over. So, I'm just going to go ahead and send them to my teammates' expo for defense while I try to rebuild that chieftain, and then hopefully eventually get inheritance just so I can stay on offense as long as possible. Alright, so KP's plan worked. You see he's back on defense now. He got them off of our side of the map. So far so good. Well, I'm going to continue trying to get grunt numbers up while I try to wait for my chieftain to come back. But what I do have over there in front of my teammate's base, I'm going to go ahead and walk all that stuff to the center and try to stick them in that hook right there. And try to use that to make it so anytime any of demonbut's hogs cross the center, they get shot at, get damaged, and that way we also know what they're doing. So a little bit of extra eyes on the map. Also, with them being halfway there anyway, it didn't make any sense to walk them back to my base just to teleport them. So DyNaMic's going to come on offense by himself and try to take hog numbers down, and he's going to get trapped, caught, and killed, meaning, by my teammate's Goss, meaning that we can go ahead and push up on offense and try to drop that Cutter Expo now with what we've got. Yes, I know what I just said about grunts walking slowly through the center, but they're already up there, so it really didn't make any sense again to turn them around, and you can't stick them all in the hooks. So go ahead and walk them up, walk my chieftain up, and then unlock everything else. And there's my teammate with the Goss. Now they do have defender's advantage with their hogs, but we have both my units and his, and then the Arbiter, again, like I've already mentioned, is dead, so this is good to act now while he's not out. Now, a demonbut does have that turret in the back, so you'll see KP pull back around to where all my units are, so they can we can just try to do as much base damage as possible where that turret can't shoot. But since I have so much stuff, I'm going to go ahead and walk it around after I get that pad down, just because, again, I have so many grunts. Might as well, and it's better if they shoot at me than at the hogs. So we're just going to put everything on this base right now and try to drop it. And the Arbiter's back out. Here he comes. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and transition into summits, just because there you're going to see definitely is behind now, only having one base. He can't pump Gauss as much, so it's better to have a more mobile unit that doesn't rely on me having to drop it in with my Chieftain, and the Arbiter's probably going to go ahead and rage everything down. But right now, my teammate snaked past him and is trying to do as much damage to his base as possible while he's focusing on me. And now he's going to get out. Yep, get all his stuff out unscathed, just because, again, like I said, the Arbiter's raging down on my grunts, but it's not really that big of a deal since switching into air. And while I do this, my teammate's going to go ahead and get his triple, which he was clearing a little bit earlier. I think you might have noticed that on the map. But with them coming on offense, he wasn't able to get it. But he's able to get it right now. So we're going to have that on them. But I pretty much have nothing left on offense. The Arbiter, and coupled with the remaining Gauss for green, has gone ahead and pretty much picked that all off. But I still do have everything in the hook, making it so when they do drive by it, we will see where they are, both the one in the middle and the one near the former Cutter Expo. Although at this point, he's probably already rebought it or will soon. So right now, while I try to get air up, my teammate is clearing the final base on our side. So he can actually get a, well, he's already got his triple, so he can go ahead and, one, get the money from that, and then get a quad going. So basically, it doesn't matter how many the Arbiter rages down, he's going to be able to keep up a more than consistent pump. With them, their Cutter being down a base, we are at a distinct advantage. So pretty much we'd have to mess up pretty badly right now at this point to fall behind or to lose, which, I mean, it does happen. So, yep, and there's the quad base. So Cutter did go ahead and retake this, like I said he might. But at this point, KP notices that the expo up there on top is on fire, so he's suspicious that possibly demonbut has that. So I'm going to go check that out really quick. Also with the Gauss there, I don't have enough Banshees to do damage to that base. He has cleared it, as you can see up here, but he hasn't taken it, so he's on a double to my teammate's quad right now. So KP's going to go ahead and push up on offense, since we know we have definite hog number advantage. So he's going to go ahead and he's going to come in and drop that base. Here comes the Arbiter to defend, but there's just too much stuff. The base is going to die. GG. Game over. The D-bomb means the Arbiter isn't going to be able to stop anything. So there's this game. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll have another video up too.